Welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of MN Car Talk. I'm Ponty.
I'm Austin.
And we're going to introduce Austin to the channel. He is going to be helping us with making videos and being a part of the podcast. So
a co-host.
Co-host, as you would call it.
Yep.
So, Austin, What is your car?
My car is a 2005 Pontiac GTO, which is behind us, the set piece, this episode. Just an LS2 with a TVD6 transmission, 6-speed manual, with a couple of mods.
So you mentioned mods. What mods are done to your GTO?
Has a BTR Stage 4 camshaft. The specs are 235, 242 duration, and 621, 592 lift, 111 plus 3 with the lobe separation angle. And it has VMR V710 rims. It's 8 in the front, 9.5 in the rear. It's Toyo R888Rs all the way around. And then it has Cook's 1 3/4 long tube headers and a G-Force Engineering 9-inch IRS independent rear suspension axle. That's the crown piece so far of this build. It was about $7,300 in total just for the parts in that. So that has a 389 gear, 35 spline axles, single piece carbon fiber drive shaft. Has Maverick Man coilovers on it. It has Russell stainless steel brake lines all the way around all four corners. And then it has a Tune by Twin Cities Performance and a Mushimoto radiator.
So I'm guessing a lot of people are going to be asking this, but how much power does this thing make?
Well, at the tires, it was 420 horse at the tires. At the motor, I don't know, to be honest. I believe it's like 470 something, probably, somewhere in there. Basically about the same power as a Scat Pack.
Alrighty, well, let's take a little look at the exhaust on this thing. Fuck, that is brutal. Anyway, what are your plans with the GTO?
So, plans for this spring are to pro charge it, looking at a F1A Pro Charger on E85. So do the whole fuel system kit with the boost. It should be sitting around, I would say, trying to get 700 at the tire, 720 horse at the tire, somewhere on there.
So what's the story behind the GTO? What made you want to get a GTO?
So for me, when I was growing up as a kid, I played Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. And in that game, there was, I believe it was a 2002 model. It was a Vauxhall. I think it was a Vauxhall or it was a Holden HSV Monaro. And I remember that was the coolest car of the game. I always loved playing that car as I was a kid. I was like, this car is so cool. It's awesome. And then come to find out later on that it's this body style GTO. So I just fell in love with it ever since I was a kid.
So this GTO, it was originally from Australia, correct?
Yes, it is made in Australia. It was made in West Elizabeth, Australia. And over there, the Holden Monaro, they made it from 2001 to 2006. We did not get it over here in America till 2004 because at the time GM CEO President Bob Lutz was over there for some sort of press conference or something with GM Australia and had one as a rental car and loved the car and wanted to bring it here to America. And what better fitting way is to bring it to Pontiac, because in 2002, when the F-bodies were gone, the Trans Am and the Camaro, GM needed that performance car, something to replace those cars to still compete with the Mustang.
So say someone was interested in the GTO, what would you tell them about the GTO and why should they get a GTO? What makes it so special?
Well, the real reason to get a GTO, or at least why I got a GTO, is that everybody thinks when they think muscle car, modern muscle car, they think Camaro, Mustang, Charger, Challenger. Well, the GTO is the fifth muscle car. They weren't around for too long, between 2004 to 2006. So if you see one on the road, it's a real treat to see one because it's especially rare and they're very uncommon at car shows, and you'll pretty much be almost the only one, maybe a couple others there. And for somebody trying to get into GTOs or Pontiacs and stuff in general, if you do like the 04 to 06 GTO, the 04 GTO is a little bit budget because It's the LS1, so 350 horsepower, flat hood, single exhaust, so it's a little bit cheaper to get. This is the 0506. It's more desirable. You got the LS2, the 6-liter, 400 horse, 400 foot-pounds of torque. And common issues and stuff is basically the rear ends in these cars. The rear ends are flat out. They're just junk, and they don't handle the power, and they wheel hop and everything else. The best thing to do is get a 8.8 IRS out of a Mustang. There's companies that sell kits that you can do that for the GTOs, or there are other companies you can get the 4.9-inch IRS, which this one has.
And for our last question, what is a message that you want to get out to the car community?
Just in general, to be better people and just be more accepting and be kinder and just be nicer to everybody.
Alrighty, well, I want to thank you for coming on here and sharing your GTO, and I'm so excited to start making podcasts with you. So welcome to the team, and let's get this show on the road.
Yeah.
We'll see you next weekend.